The South African Pavilion at the COP28 in Dubai was busy today with different panel discussions on climate change. Minister Barbara Creecy will officially launch the pavilion later today. And still covering COP is SABC's international news editor Sophie Mokoena in Dubai. Good afternoon to you, Sophie. Thanks for keeping us up to date. What was the main focus of the presentation by the project management unit in the presidency on the just energy transition? Because of course South Africa is taking that message that we're willing to change things, but it has to be a just transition.
You are correct, Francis. The presentation revolved around financing. As you know that there are countries that have agreed to assist South Africa with finances. But the reality is when you talk about loans, you must remember that the country will have to pay back those loans. And the key question is, how do you ensure that money that is available, you have a chunk of that being grants rather than loans? And therefore, that was the main focus, and also the fact that South Africa stands ready to continue to implement the just energy transition now with the document, 38 pages that you have to go through to understand that just energy transition. But let's take a listen at what Neil Cole had to say, who is part of the committee or the group, the unit that is responsible for the projects in relation to this just energy transition.
Looking at various models, and some of those models are models that are going to take a lot of those concessional loans off of the balance sheet, but still supporting a entity like Eskom or Transnet. But that's going to require a collaboration not only between the public and the private sector, but thinking of the public sector more broadly in terms of the multilateral development banks and also DFIs. The next is risk mitigation that a collaboration can bring about. And I think the principle is fairly straightforward, and that is by distributing the risk among multiple partners, the impact of some of these unforeseen challenges, failures can be minimized.
So, Sophie, I understand the Minister of Minerals and Energy, Mantashe, also in Dubai. What's been the word from him?
Well, the minister was there as early as 9 o'clock this morning, and he did listen attentively to different presentations. As you know that as a person who's responsible in relation to the implementation of these policies, he wanted to get a sense of what people are saying about climate change and also issues related to mitigation, but particularly in relation to the impact of implementation of the renewables. And therefore, his main question, he did ask questions when they were doing presentations, particularly in relation to issues that are related to technology, but also funding, saying that he doesn't understand why the developed countries are pushing developing countries to adopt these technologies. They don't even want to come to these countries and establish a manufacturing hub for these technologies, so that those people in the areas where you have these new technologies are being given skills. But also he pointed out that he doesn't understand when people talk about implementation, when they are actually supposed to be talking about acceleration. He pointed out in terms of where South Africa is on implementation of renewables. I also heard on the grapevines that this coming Friday he will be presenting before a committee of parliament or committee of cabinet in relation to all these issues. And later we'll bring you my conversation with Minister Mantashe on SA Today, then sister show that's coming after On Point, where he is explaining why he did ask those questions, Francis.